You're tuned in to Get Right Fantasy.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focused Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fabs here, Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
You know who you can trust if you've got some questions about your fantasy squad?
Want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Head on over to YouTube. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network because they're doing everything they can to make you a better fantasy player.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You're tuned in to Get Right Fantasy.
What up, world? This is Frank here with Get Right Fantasy Network, coming back at you here for the Week 16 Overreaction recap. We're going here into the championship week here, week 17. Hopefully you're in and you're getting a bye here. I just got in on my home league. Super happy about that. Thank you so much, McCaffrey. But now we got to move on to next week, and see what's going on. How many of you guys make it? Let me know if you're in the finals. Obviously, I think most of you guys that are watching made it into your final. And we're gonna, kind of go over some overreaction, take a look at some injury, some interesting stories from this weekend, past weekend games, and obviously go over the injuries, and then head into the waiver wire ads for Week 17 here. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Get in here at the live Q&A. Fellow B, Rob Thomas here. What's up, man? How you doing? Just holding it down tonight. Hopefully you're in the finals as well. Let's take a look at here what we got here. I just want to kind of recap what we have going on here at Get Right Fantasy during the week, and I'm trying to manage getting up the assets that I'm trying to show. Give me 1 second here, guys. Here it is. Monday night. Here it is, the Waiver Wire Overreaction show. Tuesdays we got Phil with the extra point. I'm not sure if he's traveling this week, and I was out last week as well. We had a new member being added here to the Get Right Fantasy Network. Congratulations, Mike, for having a baby here. So I just want to put a shout out for him. So Wednesdays we were doing the roster trade management show, but that's kind of done right now. Trade deadlines passed, obviously, and things like that. And then Fridays we got the sit start Q&A. And then hopefully Sunday, Mike can come back and do the active inactives. So we're trying to hold it down here. It is kind of late in the season. So, we're trying to, be here for you guys and keep producing the content here. So, yeah, let's see what we got. Again, we always have those super chats. So if you guys want to chime in, I'll get right to your question right away, give you some extra time and see if I could take a look at what you got going on for the final here, the Week 17. So it's time to roll the sleeves up and get your lineups ready here going into Week 17. Let's take a look at some of the topics here. The Jaguars pulling off some critical road win against the Broncos. The Saints dominated the Jets and the strong Taysom Hill performance coming back here. The Swiss Army knife showing up. And the nail-biting overtime with Panthers over the Buccaneers. So some really good showings. Again, Jacksonville 34, Denver 20. Jaguars kept the playoffs alive there with the crucial win over Denver. It's some really good plays here. So start running 45 touchdown run by Steelers running back Jalen Warren. Also, New Orleans, as I mentioned, Saints getting 29 over the New York Jets 6 with Taysom Hill doing the Swiss Army knife move. Nobody's seen it coming, but he is that guy. Hopefully they give him more touches now. Kamara's out, Neal's out, so I think they brought him back in because he led the team with 12 rushing yards, 12 carries for 42 yards, while also throwing a touchdown pass and catching 4 passes. So again, that Swiss Army knife is coming into effect over there. We got Carolina Panthers 23, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 20 on the overtime. then Panthers secured a vital overtime with in the complicated North NFC South race. The game was marked by a strong performance from the Panthers wide receiver Jalen Coker and Tedero McMillan holding it down over there. And we got Pittsburgh Steelers 29, Detroit Lions 24. The Steelers edged out the Lions, dealing a significant blow to Detroit's playoff hopes. It's a crucial sideline catch by Colby Parkinson was a major highlight in the game. And then, of course, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf, who has been suspended for 2 games without pay by the NFL for that physical altercation with the fan on Sunday's game. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it's all over social media. Dumb move. You can't just get into it with the fans, man. You're making millions. Yeah, the suspension could void over $40 million in guaranteed money for DK's contract, though he could still earn it over the next 2 years. So that's a big mistake right there, big time. So let's see what happens there. So we got running back situations, just kind of doing so overreaction. Bucky Irving and Rico Dowdle losing goal line carries. Does that mean they're usable for week 17? So yeah, in reality, both lost crucial touches week 16, although injuries to other running backs like Kamani Vidal, Devin Neal, and potentially Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones means that, you kind of got to start these guys. Maybe they do lose some touches, maybe they get them back. You never know. It's all game script, and you got to keep starting your starters. So at this point, they're at least a flex option for the championship week lineups here. Another overreaction here. We had Omarion Hampton, the first round fantasy pickup in 2026. The reality is Hampton looked great with 85 rushing yards and a touchdown Sunday, and looked like he's feeling healthier. Predicted first round pick year is premature, but I think he might be up there next year. I don't think people are going to be sleeping on him. He did have that injury, but it looks like he's recovered from that, and he's coming back to his own. Let's see another overreaction with Jackson Dart. Errors over in New York in this worst game as a pro. So that happens. In reality, the rookie Dart, just had a bad game against a strong defense. So it'll happen. I mean, you can't just start freaking out that he's the fairy tale's over. You got to stick with the guy. Another one here with overreaction: Trevor Lawrence, now a top 5 fantasy quarterback for Week 17 because he's the league's hottest quarterback. And I would say, he's got a great gun with 12 passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions in his last 4 games, but consistent elite ranking depends on his matchup and the team health, like Parker Washington's surprise breakout performance. So he's a strong start, but not an impact top 5 lock. So we got to keep an eye on, again, you can't overreact to some of these things. Trevor Lawrence been having some really decent games, but I mean, let's temper the expectations a little bit here. Let's see who else we got. Overreaction for Parker Washington, a 145-yard game. Does it make him a weekly must start? I'm honestly, I think with the Baker out game that he had and the Jaguars receivers, just they're moving, and the Jaguars, they're trying to get into the playoffs here and move up. So I do think that he's a flex play at best because you don't know about a consistency, so it's not guaranteed. But I mean, he could give you 60 yards or something like that, 56 yards, and and no touchdown. So it could hurt, but if he gets something low with a touchdown, it'd be nice. So again, just a flex play there. So yeah, let's take a look at some of the key injuries here that happened over the weekend as well. Just kind of do some overreaction there, just kind of go over some highlights of the game. But moving on here to the injuries. So we had several players suffered injuries week 16 that could impact the availability of the fantasy football championships in week 17. Most notably is running back Quinshon Judkins out for the season. Alvin Kamara's been out. Quarterbacks Lamar Jackson and Jordan Love with the concussion. So yeah, those two cost me the wins in the listener leagues. I was riding high in both leagues, first and second place in the OG listener league and the current listener league. But unfortunately, I got hit with the injury bug here in week 17. I had Jordan Love go down in one league and Lamar Jackson in the other league. And it's kind of hard to overcome. Obviously, these guys are in the playoffs for a reason. They got pretty decent teams that score well over the week. So, again, let me know if you guys have any questions. I want to know if, again, chime in. Who made it to the playoffs? What's the score? What's it going to look like? What's your payout? What kind of money you got involved here? I got championship belts for our leagues. Matter of fact, let me give a plug to our people here. Oh shoot, where's it at here? Give me 1 second. There we go. I got belts like that here. So, what do you guys have for your leagues? Do you guys got a trophy? You got a ring? Is it just cash? And let me know what you guys are doing on that front. So yeah. Anyways, we go to injuries here for quarterback Lamar Jackson. He's basically considered day to day with a serious back contusion. The week 17 status is up in the air, but backup Tyler Huntley would get the start if Jackson cannot play. Huntley was in for the game. He's just not Lamar. But if you got nobody else, you might have to start him. But we got some other waiver wire guys we're going to be talking about. So let's get to that here in a second. Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers. He's in the concussion protocol after leaving the game at week 17. Backup Malik Willis is also dealing with the shoulder injury. So we got to keep a look at the eye on those guys, but not somebody I want to start at third string there with the Green Bay Packers. So if Love's out, you're going to have to look for somebody else. I would not start Malik Willis either. Josh Allen there, Buffalo Bills day to day with the foot injury, but he's expected to play week 17 and the crucial matchup there. Marcus Mariota, the Commanders, is questionable for week 17 after sustaining and throwing his injuries in his throwing hand and the quad. Team side quarterback Jeff Driscoll suggesting a potential absence. So they're just getting prepared just in case he can't play. But I mean that doesn't look good. And Tua Tagovailoa was doubtful for week 17 due to the hip injury. There's a lot of quarterbacks down. So I got a couple pickup, but I think that if you had one of these quarterbacks go down or, just no show like Josh Allen, then, you're probably not in the playoffs anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You're probably not having to waiver wire somebody. Actually, I take that back. You're probably still in the playoffs, but you're not playing for first place anywhere. Probably going for the third place here, prize here. So we got running backs, Quinton Junkins. Again, as mentioned, out for the season. He suffered dislocated ankle and a fractured fibula on week 16. Rookie Raheem Sanders is the next likely man up if Dylan Sampson also has a hand/calf is still out. So Alvin Kamara's been out, and he's going to continue to be out for week 17. This could help out Taysom Hill. Again, we'll get to him and the waiver wire pickups for tight ends. We got Josh Jacobs out. Dealing with the knee ailment and clearly hampering him. Earlier this season, about a game or two ago, he was questionable. He did end up playing. He had a really good game. I had picked up Emmanuel Wilson, but it just didn't work out. And this time, it was a good time to see if you get Emmanuel Wilson on your roster. If Josh Jacobs out, he's the guy to have. And then we got Travion Henderson is in the concussion protocol here for week 17. So it's just tough going over here with these guys just getting injured left and right. So we can take a look at some of these running backs that we may have available here to pick up. We got wide receivers Rashee Rice, concussion protocol, missed practice Monday. Status for week 17 is questionable. Rome Odunze and Luther Burden, both wideouts are dealing with injuries and are likely listed out. So you got to take a look at those two guys. I have Luther Burden starting and Rome. And some of these leagues, Devontae Adams said that monitored Adams' hamstring throughout the week. So we're not sure about Adams here coming back yet. Pat Bryant, Denver Broncos, was released from the hospital after concussion and out for week 17. So it could be potential increased volume for teammate Troy Franklin. So that's a good waiver wire pickup there if you want to keep an eye out for him. Let's see who else we got here. On tight end news, we got David Njoku still out with a knee injury. Helafand Jr. just had a great game last weekend. It was a good pickup start for me. Enjoyed that. And then we got Noah Fant here with the Cincinnati Bengals. Sideline for week 16 with the ankle injury. It could be more snaps for Mike Gesicki in week 17, so keep an eye on him. So yeah, it's time to play some pay some bills here. We got here our sponsored Underdog Fantasy, the best place to play some fantasy football sports here. We through the off season we do the best ball drafts and whatnot. But now we do mostly the pick'em contests. I've been doing a lot of the pick'em contests lately. It's great time to get into those. Currently, you have a promo win up to 5,000 times your money. You play 5, you get 75 is the current promo. So use promo code GetRight, and it'll help support the channel here with Underdog Fantasy. You could just go to underdog.com and go check them out for us here. And it's really fun. I'm telling you, it's good things to be doing there. Just picking the players over under, not over under, but the higher scores and stats, like total yards and just touchdowns and things like that. Anyway, so moving on here, we got the top waiver wire ads of the week. I think that's what everybody's here waiting on. Sorry for the suspense. Drum roll, please. Here we go. We got coming in the quarterbacks. We got Trevor Lawrence coming in number 1, still only 52 to 57% owned. He had 279 yards and 3 touchdowns, 0 INTs in week 16. In week 15, he had 240 yards in that 5-touchdown game. And week 14, he had 211 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he's been putting up some very decent performances. So you want to take a look at Trevor Lawrence. Jacoby Brissett, although with the down week, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 INTs, 47% owned on him. We got Tyler Shue, the New Orleans here, 13 and 18% owned, respectively, 308 yards and 1 touchdown. He's had 3 wins in the last starts that he's had, so he is on the up and up, and hopefully he gets help by the Swiss Army knife there. So we got also Sam Darnold at 40% owned, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns. Last week he had 250 and 1 touchdown, then 230 and 1 touchdown. So he's got a good, decent, safe floor. Again, with all these quarterbacks going out, especially Jordan Love and Lamar Jackson, you got to go out and get somebody, and maybe these guys are available in your leagues. Lastly, is Cam Ward with Tennessee, 210 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. You want to try to get some of the other guys that are available here. But if you have to go all the way down to Cam Ward, maybe you have to. Lawrence has been a terror in scoring from 75 fantasy points combined in the last 2 games, standard scoring. He faces a favorable matchup against the Colts in week 17. Again, we were mentioning Jacoby Brissett's solid fantasy option, delivering the top 10 performers consistently, which is held in week 17 against the Bengals, who struggle against quarterbacks. So he's got a good matchup there against the Bengals there. Tyler Show, again, at least 17 points in 4 consecutive games. And he's a dual threat availability with favorable matchup and susceptible Titans pass defense, making him a strong streaming option against Sam Darnold with an overtime win week 16. Strong fantasy option performance, and has a favorable week 17 matchup against the Panthers. And lastly, Cam Ward, as I mentioned, just a risky play, but if you got to play somebody, he's somebody to put in here. Let's see. As far as the running back waiver wire is concerned, we got Michael Carter with Arizona, 42% owned. Last week he went 11 carries, 65 yards. Carter, stepped into the lead role there for the Cardinals. He played about 52.6% of the offensive snaps in week 16, and about 80% in week 15. After injury to Bam Knight, he faced a favorable matchup against the Bengals, who have allowed a league high in rushing yards to running backs this season. So also, I really like Blake Corum, Los Angeles Rams, 41 to 60% owned, 14 carries, 48 yards, and 1 touchdown. Last week, he went for 1171 and 1 touchdown, and the week before that, 12 to 28, 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's had a touchdown in the last 3 games. He is behind Kyron Williams, but he's been scoring at least 13.1 fantasy points in 4 games and find the end zone at 5 times in that span. So he does share the workload, but he's getting enough volume and red zone opportunities to be a viable flex option against the Falcons. So let's look at him. Really liking him. He was on the cover of the thumbnail here. Coming up next, we got. Let me take a break here 1 second. Got Emmanuel Wilson here, 37% owned, Green Bay running back. And then Josh Jacobs went down. We had 14 carries for 82 yards. Not much the weeks before because Josh Jacobs did end up playing. But he is, obviously, if Josh doesn't go, Wilson's the prime candidate to get a significant workload. So, keep an eye on him, pick him up now. And if Jacobs is out, he's your basically handcuff for him to plug and play and hope for the best here. We also coming in with Chris Rodriguez here for Washington Commanders, less than 30% owned. And he's just basically the lead back in touches over there at the Washington Commanders. He's taken over the lead role, and he has a solid floor with a favorable matchup against the Cowboys, making him a safe flex play in the championship week. So I definitely would touch him as a flex play here. Then lastly, we got Raheem Sanders. This is more of a speculative ad following the season injury to Keyshawn Junkin. Sanders was eliminated and could lead the backfield if Dylan Sampson remains sidelined. So his potential volume makes him an option in deep leagues, right? Would not be touching him in something unless you had to, obviously. So hopefully you guys got some better options right now, and you got somebody to put in. Let's take a look here. We got anybody here for the wide receivers? We got Parker Washington, Jacksonville, 12 to 33% owned. He went 645 yards and 1 touchdown last week here. And let's see what my notes say. He had a breakout performance in week 16, leading to a team in targets and receiving yards. He also had a favorable matchup week 17 against the Colts. You've seen them play tonight. They do have a suspect decent defense there. The 49ers, I think, put 42 on them. They struggled against the slot wideouts, and his targets and volumes a strong flip option here with high upside here coming in week 17. If you need somebody here, we're looking at Troy Franklin as well, 49 to 51% owned. We have 466 yards. We were just talking about his counterpart being out as well. So if, he'll move up into a solid wide receiver 2 position. I'll get another flex option here. Got to take a look at him. He's recorded 10 catches for 151 yards over the last 2 games combined. So nice numbers there. And then next we have Anani Mitchell, New York Jets, 19% owned. Mitchell's speculative ad. He could see some more targets with a favorable matchup against the Patriots. So just somebody to come and look at. Olamin Zacchaeus here, Chicago Bears, because the other guys are down. So he would see an increase in targets. Mac Hollins in deeper leagues. He's an option with high snap share, a favorable matchup against the vulnerable Jets defense. He does get some looks here and there from my guy over here, Drake May and Patriots. But it's just a spotty start, not a solid start for that guy. And lastly, we got the tight ends coming in. I've been mentioning them a couple times. My boy Taysom Hill, New Orleans, less than 20% owned right now. Week 16 went 4 for 36 and 12 carries for 42 yards. And he threw a couple passes. So he'll get you some numbers. Again, desperation move or ad right now, I think. I'm not sure if he's going to be likely to repeat those numbers, but if you got to put somebody in, why not give him a shot? Maybe win your championship. We got Mike Gesicki with Cincinnati, less than 50% owned. He went 3 for 35 yards and 1 touchdown. So you can take a look at him as well. Brenton Strange, Jacksonville, less than 20% owned. He's got, a speculative ad. He's got some, he's been involved in the red zone and a favorable matchup against the Colts in week 17. And then lastly, we got Hunter Henry, reliable target share over there with the Patriots, and he's got a solid matchup against the Jets, who struggle against the tight end position. Those are the last guys for the waiver wire ad, week 17 here. It's been a good year. Had a lot of fun here. And I hope you enjoyed watching the show. I'm not sure if I'm going to. I think I do a year-end wrap up. Probably not doing a week 18 because this should be your championship week. If you're playing into week 18, you need to get in the league that doesn't do that, because I just personally don't see why you want to start players that you may or may not start. People get benched and sat all the time, so you just want to be able to be playing your best optimal team, not having to scramble for guys on some last one-off week that you're playing all the way to. So lastly, make sure you check out our boys at Trophy Smack. I kind of mentioned them earlier. You want to get in with the belts and the trophies, the belts, the swag, the rings. You got to check them out. Trophy Smack. Use the promo code Get Right. Again, support the channel. But all right, guys. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Let me know in the comments if you have any other further questions. If not, peace out.
Get Right Fantasy.